Okay. I just realized that what I uploaded, I need to check yesterday. As you saw when I hit testing, one, two, three, to record, it was recording just fine. Um, but I'm not sure if it recorded on YouTube. It did when I tested it. That's why I'm surprised it didn't record um, sound yesterday or today. Um, I need to check if it recorded yesterday. This is just an update. So slight technical difficulties. Things, if anybody's a lip reader, things that it did, it all last night, it woke me up at about dead of night, 2:45 in the morning, started doing its electrocution. It's unfortunate I lost the content because I was just simply sort of discussing the situation. It went back into its Man in the High Castle, Turner Diaries, schizophrenic crud. And it was saying stuff yesterday, last night, and then more, as I said, I was watching, he very much and has throughout has the ability to mirror internet accounts and cell phone accounts, or to mirror like your laptop and cell phone account, so that it's he's watching what you watch. If I'm just sitting there listening to headphones, is what I. It's unfortunate I lost the content. I said that what I'm dif- uh, talking about is that I'm actually just recanting everything that has popped out of, I believe, enable microphone, and then talk in an audible heavy breathing noise on enable microphone. Which he did not have the sexual assault body scanner device. There's no doubt whatsoever a sexual assault body scanner device is not being used. It's absolutely hideous. Apparently, these men doing this do actually. Um, I forgot to hit microphone enable on today. This is definitely recording. Yeah, that down there tells you. Um, it continued with more of the same. Uh, Oh, well, like what I'm saying is that I was released in end of October, early November of 2022. My father came and picked me up from the Wake County Jail. I went back to the house in the apartment in North Carolina briefly with my father, and then we drove down to Florida. Um, then I came back up after about 6 months. I was there for a while. My grandfather came out. Um, my mother had been back and forth to the house in Vegas multiple times for like months to spend time with my grandfather. He was so elderly. I'd already been there a while. We're there at Christmas. I can do the timeline. And he was very happy in his old folks' home, which was very nice. And they had lots of activities. And my lovely dinners, and it was right near. My mother could take the golf cart up, and we were having fun interacting with him. And the last I remember him, I was saying, like, I had a little card. Uh, it says happy anniversary. It went to these like lovely little wine glasses with a yin and yang and a crystal. I remember it must have been 2007. My mother buying those around then for my grandparents. And they're both so quite alive, and we went to visit them. But he was 98 years old, they had come to visit not long before. He was 98 years old, and I remember him sitting in now. I was very happy with a big screen TV watching sports in these old folks' home. Uh, Very, very elderly, though, just so old. But he had a fall, and when I was back in Cary, where I recorded a lot of video, that you can see the stalking has gone back to what the stalking was prior to my kidnapping in 2021, the arrest in 2021. Um, which, of course, since there was everything documented, um, I can go back and work on timelines and everything, just putting everything in proper place. We had a lovely dinner for New Year's and Christmas with my grandfather when I was down in Florida the first time. He'd come out not long before that. And then he passed away when I was in North Carolina, packing up the apartment, which these guys really went right back. There was stuff that came out of the cell phone. I had a couple of interactions with him that were quite strange. When I was at my parents' house for the 6 months, I was just, and if you listen to what I'm saying here, I got stuck with the worst content ever. These men's heavy breathing. It is unfortunate they did not record the audio for that. It's since it's quite clear audio, and I'm going to be getting tired of talking. It was another long night last night. But you can see it went back to the same kind of stalking, and because the very clear events occur. For example, I sent it out to the news at WRAL, and next thing you know, or I sent it directly to the Cary Police Department, and then this was the response, and there's no other reason for this to be going on. So and everyone, all the email lists get this every 6 months, and then if there's something going on, they get it just everybody on all the email lists. So I've canvassed the entire American legal system, which with this case, and these monsters go right back to doing this stalking. Now that they have the physical sexual assault device, which is very real, it appears to be an electronic grounding device or some sort. I'm not sure. It electrocutes you. It's extremely painful, and it's a hideous sexual assault device. They have something that apparently these mentally retarded schizophrenic men. Again, it's bad. I lost the content on here, but it went back to the other kind of stalking, like those videos recorded. He very much has the ability to just completely sort of mirror and be on your cell phone accounts and internet account. When you call and you're talking to the county jurisdiction nonsense, the fact that these men have been able to commit as much crime out of wherever they are, being such open offenders all throughout, they always had to enable the microphone. And you could hear them talking in an audible voice. Like, that isn't just all it is. And then they're sitting there with a modulator and take it down to a low frequency. And it was the same guys, especially Neville and the Beast. Otis Toole, maybe a new hire at the Carroll County Jail. It's a very serious situation as to the cell phone stalking. You've got to get these men off the streets. They're absolutely ridiculous. You cannot let men congregate to do something under this. I mean, this has been reported so many times. I said that if things were just a complete no legal system puddle of and then just nothing, a bull in a china shop is kind of correct. Like, you just break everything and there's no legal system. You've redefined all law whatsoever. It's just a puddle of goo of your brain dissolving in schizophrenia and germs or something over there. There's no legal system whatsoever in this. These men go right back to doing this. I report it on a daily basis. They now have this electronic sexual assault device. Last night it was a story about how they because the interaction the schizophrenic monster is having is very much a real thing, where this freak that like I said, whatever I'm repeating is just simply what has popped out of, like I'm saying, like I was in my parents' house for a month when they went to clean out Grandpa's house. So I came back. So I went back down to Florida after selling the house. There were 2 rental properties I rented. They're real interested in you, like, being alone around. It's always just the schizophrenic, retarded, extremely low class. Otis Toole was definitely around that P.B. Gaskins character. An unbelievable X-rated content and R-rated content as far as violence, like Saw and Wrong Turn level. uh, the extreme amount of sexual stuff, the extreme roughness of the men. They have something that latches on the body so perps don't get away, I believe. Why the mentally retarded schizophrenic janitor is a corrections worker of some sort, there's no doubt this isn't a schizophrenic retarded man. Yeah, he says he's sitting on the floor with a tablet playing with himself. This got said better. You say stuff like about tissues and you're holding your penis and your tissues are going in the waste basket at her, sir, and you, and all this other stuff. Okay, and you're sitting there playing with yourself, and people are watching you run by to these different offices, and they want to arrest you. Last night it was stuff about, and that but I'm saying that this is the kind of stuff that used to pop out of the heavy breathing. And then I noted this person was watching me watch like YouTube videos or something. So he's watching me watch internet. He'll watch Netflix series with you, so he can mirror the Cox account because you're quite obviously like the Time Warner, but the cell phone and the internet are the same on the Cox account if you sign up for that. And he's able to mirror laptops and just sits around. What I think is going on, since these men are so extremely low class and low functioning, is that this, for some reason, something that's like, it's Dennis Rader's brain tumor over there, maybe in a police uniform. These discussions on legal use of any law enforcement technology, like, Judge Crow should be aware of it. Would have to sign out on any use of something judges would, and the other judge, the head judge, would check in a county. Because yes, it's come out, and it's sort of transparent. That's actually in Crime and Punishment. Everything is in fact like they say it's public. If you get you end up on the news and the tabloids and stuff like that, which is a normal amount of, and they try to buffer victims and. You're actually, my understanding is you're all supposed to be using proper press release, but it doesn't. You're so bizarre over there. It's very good. I caught the corruption here. It's very good. It's just there. It's good. It's a real thing, so it's an important thing to catch the corruption. This one I'm getting sort of a bit draggy. It's not as. Yesterday, about 2:45 in the morning. Last night, they started the same thing with the sexual assault and the electrocution. The electrocution is extremely painful. Whatever body grounding, like taser thing you have, is needs to quit. The leg swelling, I believe, was from the taser. There was, I said that like he kept saying stuff like. Because I would lean over, and it's not supposed to hit your head. There used to be places in the last 18 months that he's been just going. It's been 18 months. It seems longer because it's so extremely bad. What I'm narrating is that too, like what I'm referencing is this. I'm just saying this is actually because I'm reporting a crime. Is that I'm reporting a crime? Is that it's a crackhead. Oh, too. Like, really, yeah. Like, this is a complete schizophrenic man that sounds like it wandered in out of the rain. And it's a meth head or a crackhead. As far as talking about different things, he has sort of an elated. It sounds like he got into coffee, but it's like world according to Garp. Then there's slurry and the schizophrenic coming down. And if I stop talking, I'll die. And elated, and he wants to tell his stories. And so I think this guy's like, they sound like they're on crack cocaine. And then the extreme like bludgeoning, like the violence and flurry, but like if I stop talking, I'll die. So I think they're on meth or something. Really, yeah. I got where the judge is signing out on all law enforcement tech that we should be like, warrantless wiretaps are. The judge just gets up back in the courthouse the same as anything else, or if you're scanning crowds at a sports event or an event or something, you're signing out on law enforcement technology. If you enter the premises, and then it would just be open for public discussion always. That's for example, law enforcement, the same as anything else, they get a call about people dealing drugs and running a very noisy house out of a house. So they checked on the technology. Let's see what's in the house. And then it ended up in court. And then it's on the news, that kind of thing, or in university discussion and state and federal Supreme Court, that kind of stuff. Well, that's the American legal system. There's no such thing as no, there's actually no such thing. The entire thing is insane. You created my evidence in the first place and kidnapped me. And then I've been stalked by what I'm describing as what pops out of you enable a microphone on my tablet over there. So I'll be at home alone in my parents' house and I'm cleaning the freezer or something because my parents went out to my grandfather's house. Or I'm sitting there watching television and surfing stuff on my cell phone. You actually like it when I'm on headphones. Yeah, because I actually wear headphones to listen to music a lot. And you like it when I'm on headphones listening to music on YouTube. And you'll talk in a video game walkthrough about stuff also. And then you like to heavy breathe. At times I take naps. So if I say something like, when I got to Vegas, the thing couldn't touch you. I was laying down fine. It's very creepy. There is something that follows the body around with GPS. I believe I was experiencing that was nastier but it wasn't actually physically touching you in any way. It was just following your body around. The guy has, nobody would keep company and everybody that's around is interacting with the Otis Toole character. So, I mean, this is the Neville character that's talking about his tissues and what's in his tissues and why he plays it with himself. So there's nobody around other than these men. It makes me think that law enforcement apps or something, they have access to law enforcement apps and they're going crazy on them. There could be one of these guys could be a higher functioning Dennis Rodito's brain tumor has taken over. This guy doesn't. I don't know where any of this is walking and talking. Maybe you pass the wall of bad behavior that is very strange. That is I reported as to what is it, and then that's actually very criminal. So behind the wall of if you pin it down, it's actually got this going on. It's like Jack from The Shining's book. He wrote down all work and no play make Jack a dull boy thousands of times over and over again. That's his book past that point. So he's in doing this. He's been doing it. You've been doing this for a very long time now. I called all the police and was hoping it's a psychotic and it's a schizophrenic. No, I'm going to what pops out of it. So you're saying these are actual things that occurred? Yeah. And actually, then my parents went out to clean up my grandfather's house. Then I flew out to clean up my grandfather's house. I was alone in my parents' house for a month. Maybe because I listen to music and stuff, it'll talk while you're sitting there on your cell phone and laptop and stuff. He mirrors internet account, and then he's just determined where this man, they're paying him to sit around and do this day and night. So everything, I got psyched with the worst heavy breather ever as a topic, and as a hideous life of crime these men have been able to enact on myself. That they've earned themselves a life in prison sentence. It is absolutely incredibly bad. What popped out of them yesterday at 2 a.m. is that people were calling because they checked. There are, in fact, tons of people, probably 50 people and families that they've been interacting. They do go back to the same people with, and they've literally, these men, well, all the conversation is having with itself as to all the conversation it's having with itself as to what do you call it, as to as to Herster and the other guy and stuff like that. They're actually they've been interacting with children and doing the exact same thing. And as the guy experiencing what they're doing to me, how bad it is. It's like if The TENS therapy device attached to the inside out body scanner law enforcement would use to check for drugs at the airport or something needs to quit, as well as the grounder on the body. You do actually need to check for other places that GPS and satellite, like cable satellite, has access. There might be sex apps that actually people have access to. And then this mirroring and getting on people's internet accounts and cell phone accounts is extremely dangerous and might be other places. But it went right back to doing yesterday. I don't know what. And then I went out to my grandfather's house. It was still messy. There's lots of boxes. So I'm cleaning the house. And like I said, I got there the first week I got there. It wasn't touching me, but I'm sleeping. And, you know, I could hear it over there just talking on my cell phone about dirty stuff. And I finally got up, went to the bathroom, and turned the cell phone off. And he talks about trying to get on other devices in the house. But I went back to sleep. It does that a reasonable amount. There's like, you know, and I called the police, the Otis tool hanging out on my talking to you with the alphabet and your just ridiculous stuff. As described, it was licking lady parts and pleasuring and playing with himself. And then, you know, like taking naps, it's the same guy. It could be a guy that blows on your crotch. That's your teddy bear or something is like what pops out. And it's the same guy. Like I recognize Neville and the Beast. They must have also been working closely with these men in, again, because he refers to, I mean, there's not even 6 degrees of separation. You're just standing next to the man. You must have had somebody on a cell phone in the courthouse. Like they must have been in the jail area. So you were actually, because you refer to stuff. And he says, that is correct. So really ridiculous, this jurisdiction stuff. It's good to what an incredible nonsense mess it is. And how it's completely undermined the American legal system. I would be a very nice, normal person. You say that, you need to go and check the facts, is all I said all throughout. And then, you know, not the bull in the china shop. I have, you know, this guy has no inhibitions whatsoever. You know, you get in the tabloids for, so some people have done very bad stuff. It goes in checks with the facts. You would have done bad stuff. You would have been a schizophrenic that's sex offending that created this evidence, or whoever did all that, which is coming out of your group over there. But so like, you know, what popped out of it is your tapestry is a dragon that's gonna like blow in your crotch or something, because there was like a dragon tapestry I bought for like $8. While I nap, or your teddy bear is gonna blow on your crotch. Blow on your crotch. Well, he's blowing wind, really. This pumps out. It's always, and then stuff about 2 white boys in Zebulon, North Carolina, that they could have made friends in North Carolina, but I actually, a case came in, and a white man and 2 Mexican boys and like a guy like me when he was young raped and beat up a girl who was 22, and the Mexican guys did it. They're gonna catch the guy, and they got another guy. I'm like, okay, really, yeah. And I do the voice. It sounds like that, really. Which is embarrassing, really. Yeah. So this is in the narration. Maybe they could get a lip reader. I don't know. Technical difficulties. Last night, apparently the interaction. Last night, like I said, it was doing. It's like you were watching television, and it says something about, do you think that guy on the TV is handsome? And you want to be like naked in the shower with the guy. So more stuff about neighborhood pornography. Then about 2:45 in the morning last night, it woke me up dead of night. Didn't stop doing it. You know, if I'm walking, I would be completely normal, lying down, sleeping in my bed. The sexual assault device that we're on is hideous. But you know, I'm punching myself in the head. This is all the interaction with the stalker. The fact these men have gotten away with this much crime. I did end up sleeping on the stairs for about 45 minutes. Sleeping on the floor, and then finally I got up and fell back to sleep there. went into its like handsome man story. It was doing all night yesterday. It was doing its so the handsome broad shoulders isn't like a kid, brother. So you're a mom pervert or something. Yeah, in Haunted Hill, you're right. That actor is handsome. Oh, okay. And then you brought him into the house from. No, I think he'd mug you. What is going on? Really? Yeah, and more and heavy breathing. Yeah. Okay. So about like you and a naked guy or something. Yeah. Yesterday it was you're old and like you have no love life. You have no love life outside. More Turner Diaries and Man in the High Castle. I swear on your oath. Um, and then you're supposed to fight. We're just talking to himself about this like made up book world he made up. I'm old and have no love life. Yeah. Okay. This is not. Just whatever. Uh, but you have a love life in full dark. Okay. In Turner Diaries, Man in the High Castle, his like ideation of murdering an RIPE, which is in fact the case, he goes into it. You can hear him just fine as far as recording. Uh, you can hear him constantly. Like there must just be like a two-way microphone somewhere in the house also, because it just talks to itself constantly. But it's electrocuting me like and sexually assaulting me. I'm having to sleep sitting up in a chair. I mean, I just went into a frenzy. It's this stalker has done incredible things. That's great. The judge has to sign off on. The judges have to sign off on all use of law enforcement technology as far as it being legal. And then Little Rock has to, and the Fed has to, double check. Like all of this stuff is just absolutely outside of the law, and it caused incredible crime. But more stuff yesterday, and then narrating, uh, liberating Seattle from the Man in the High Castle Turner Diary perps. Yeah, and then handsome man stuff again. And then it was like you have to get the sexual assault device and the body scanning devices. You do need to watch out for anything that is actually might be a cable box satellite hooked up like GP same in similar technology as these men are using. Um, uh, just an ability. Like if there's Showtime apps or something like that, you might actually need to watch out for cell phone rape devices and internet cell phone. And it would be cable GPS. It would be satellite rape devices or something. But because you also need to catch the technology used now, the corruption has to be cleaned out. Apparently, also last night, no, I went into a handsome man again because I was watching like bamboo forest in the rain, and then like a screensaver of a beach with a bed on it under the moon and curtains flying. So it went into some sort of like I apparently don't have a love life outside of Troll Wars of this Man in the High Castle Turner Diary story. It's in Spaceman writes a book, which I know is a symptom they'll talk. I mean, it's a very schizophrenic, retarded man. But more handsome man out now. It was Asian 4K walkthrough or something. Um, in Man in the High Castle. Because you can't find your boyfriend dead. He said apparently the other guy got squished, and then it's like fondling your crotch through this entire thing. So now it was like Sulu and like Scorpion from like we just stuck him in the like that's when I said it sounded like Sulu from Enterprise, yeah, and like because he's narrating it, it just wants you to like play with yourself or something, really, yeah, to pretend it's like a handsome guy from Burning Corset. I don't know. They were apparently doing stuff in the other office all throughout as far as the stalkers. That might have been an earlier Otis Full PB Gaskins. But like if I got stuck with the worst. And then the thing is actually touching me. If you notice what I'm recording, I got Scorpion from Mortal Kombat crosses through or something. He's like, and then the Navy in the satellites that are finding the people buried. Yeah. It's the same guy. I don't know what that means exactly. In that case, a Japanese enterprise naval captain needs to call me. Maybe we got lunch. He's on an aircraft carrier. Okay. I don't know about all that. No. That sounds dangerous in satellite. Uh, oh, so it's somebody else from the satellite hub? Yeah, because I think he's interacting with children and they're playing Thomas the Tank Engine and Knight Rider. Which apparently myself, you can't defeat them with your mind's anus. Which if you try to electrocute them back by using magic or voodoo, that's a threat. I can't voodoo you back and I don't have a body scanner to zap you back. I hope the computer zaps you back, but I don't think so. It probably would just say no and turn off and try to call the police, but I'm not sure it can turn off exactly. But it's supposed to turn off because it would probably try. I'm not sure. You're probably setting off alarms in computer, which would just be like sensor alarms for words that are too dirty and things that are illegal. And the because you're online pornography, you're talking about sharing pedophilic material with other men constantly. Your Man in the High Castle story, your conspiracy theory story, like I'm not sure. I would like to be alone in my bed, sleeping in my house. If you notice, I have no idea what anybody does with the cardboard cutout of Jessica Rabbit, raising it that way in their house. Okay. Just put it on the wall. It's a happy dinner. Okay. I suppose, but yeah, that's none of your business. It's always about very, very private. You're very, very schizophrenic and handicapped, and you appear to be in some kind of incredibly evil and dangerous chronic sexual assault mode, which is of greatest concern. And then you also said last night, well, that's just what he was doing. Oh, really? Yeah, like I was sitting here looking at things and, I was sitting here doing stuff and, eating dinner, listening to some music, which again was like, I said that it's Enya. I don't know why you had this Enya. It's in the coffee shop, and so you hit play, and I just didn't turn it off because I think it's like a meditation tape at this point. Everybody's heard it so many times. Absolutely, Lana Del Rey mix. Do you like that? Is what he like comments on. Not really. I think it's Ginger in Las Vegas sings a song. Ginger that leaving Las Vegas and that one. Really? Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not changing the video on the Nicki Minaj video. I don't know either. I think the band does that maybe. Oh. She's a lounge singer in Vegas and I'm not paying any attention like the end yet. It's just music, it's on. And you're watching my music, and then you commented on you're very, very on my body anyway, even though you didn't have the sexual assault fondly McFondleys. Again, there's something, it was it starts fondling, and apparently that makes children grab their crotches, which is what you said in the car coming out of Walmart where I had my cell phone on and it was like blah, 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 or down. It's like horrible little fingers or something. It's really, really hideous. Really, yeah, little TENS therapy, pulse. It's kind of itchy or something horrible. Really, get it? Get what he's got over there. Everyone, it needs to be on the news, and everyone needs to understand completely all ability that law enforcement or anybody might have. They need to understand what all this stuff is. As far as such things go, if there's ability to do all the stuff that is actually occurring. So that's the case. Well, just more stuff. This is actually verbatim again what it did. It started electrocuting me, and then dead of night. It did it all day. Also, it does it day and night. Whoever's the Syracuse Dungeon Master and Charles Names is in here needed to go in a million years ago. It's the same men. Apparently, they've been doing all the interaction in the background, talking to themselves about doing that to her, sir. Um, is actually, and apparently they call these men have been sexually assaulting families in northwestern Arkansas, and they're supposed to be in custody. That's what they say that also. They also talk about how they're probably going to get arrested, but they don't ever come in here. Blah 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 blah. If you can see, like the only you see the progression on the website from when the sexual assault device started being used, because it is true. Supposedly they might have had it in another office, but I said that also, but like maybe what on earth is it? Is anybody not in a pile of brainworms for a head so nasty in body and medicating with crack and meth or something in vodka over there doing? Why does it always do the handsome man thing? Like, are you reading something? Because the sexual assault app or whatever that is, the actual sexual assault device, if you see there I am in North Carolina, no, I think it might have had something that latched onto the body as far as following a person around individually, which was weird, but it's not physically touching you. So it was pretty hideous since you sat around and stalked. I realized how much you stalked. You also didn't have something that, enabled like a body scanner at crowds to see, like, what do you call it, metal detector or something attached to it, which apparently you really have, and you attached to my cell phone. You always were real sticky on you were mirroring cell phone and internet accounts, and you were sitting there watching Lana Del Rey videos also again with me or something. I wonder, but you do funny things in relation to, I wonder if it's a satellite app or something. Because you did get the ability in Las Vegas to do this. If you see there, I'm up in that's the second, that's when I came back up to pack up the apartment in Cary, in Raleigh, North Carolina. And you can see that they're stalking me at the time because I'm recording, and okay, so it's just the stuff from the apartment in 2003, I think we're in, or 23. We're in 2003. 2023, I think we're in. So you have no love life without being space princess who liberated us with the satellites from the sewer Shanghaiers of death, the home invaders, yeah. Which turns into this like always, and that's what they did there. They have it, and they keep them as they trade children, they prostitute children to each other. It's interesting. It actually came out of the really bad police scanner stalkings that were in fact the case. No, the word on the street could have been anybody almost though, with ability. Westchester's not that. Maybe I'm not sure how companies afford and then different people and things afford, Palm Beach mansions, right? But and because of that, they might have successful businesses. Like if it's you can have professional problems like Epstein or something, but you'd have like a professional problem like this guy actually installs security systems, cable. He has he's an MBA, and he's a little googly comic book guy. So he owns a security system installation business and cable and satellite installation business. It's real. Owns a pawn store and Radio Shack. Lives somewhere in about the suburban wealthy neighborhood, something like that. You're right outside of New York City, and White Plains, Lake City, it could be anything. If there's information there, people are interested in touching it and might wander off with it, or ability. So, um, and somebody will do this with it. Somebody would do something. It's just unfortunately it's out there. There are people that would, put cameras in a motel bathroom or something, mirror if they could. You, which is horrible, or to watch sorority girls, to watch Spring Break in Fort Lauderdale or something. So, law enforcement and the FBI really needs to get on the corruption, and I don't know whose idea the jurisdiction thing is. There's no such thing as it legally. There just technically isn't, not in any capacity it's in. It appears to just be corruption, decay of a proper legal system at all. There's no such thing as reality or the world or anything in this guy's crimes. I mean, there's no, and then it's so incredibly explicit and dark. For sure, it's doing or what, I mean, it would be absolutely traumatizing to a child. I mean, everything is in X-rated, schizophrenic gynecology. That's the problem with these troll wars. They just get kidnapped, and then they just bend him over a booger hole, a bunghole barrel or something. Yeah, and rape. Get off my crotch with that. It doesn't make you grab your crotch. It apparently does to children. So instead, scans your body and attacks your crotch with some kind of intense therapy device that hooked up to a cell phone and body scanner. Pretty much. Well, that's what he just, it was a conversation. Oh, was it 4K walks in the rain in Paris in Tokyo? Yeah. And then he starts narrating like, I'm not sure, in whatever the hits a man would be, Dirty Rotten Scoundrels. I'm not sure the French Connection. Probably my mother's like, hey, I hope not. No, I'm not sure. My parents have been like, they called the police because it's assaulting them too. Apparently they came into your filthy courthouse and said, is it the heavy breather guy? They definitely have the ability to listen to your microphone on your cell phone, because there would have been nobody around but my mother and our cell phones and me. I have no idea what the burning corset narration for this one. So it continued as you're sitting there talking to itself. Yeah, verbatim about you have no life without the troll wars. And troll wars is where a satellite goes and checks, and there's a bunch of dead bodies in a trash compactor from like this trash compactor scene with the Higabana flowers or something from like Silent Hill. I think that's what they're called. Yeah, I'm not sure. No. I think where's Michael David Haynes? The child's okay. He left the child somewhere like he did with his dog, really. And then he got kidnapped again. Yeah. So hiding somewhere, or he's hiding with the child he rescued. Yeah. Okay. That'd be the other handsome man. That blonde man is handsome, and you're right, he's not so young that you'd be a pervert. I don't know. You're a grown up. Ew. I mean, ew. I'm not sure. So the burning corset narration. Yeah. And he's over there. He then goes into this explicit stuff while the thing is like really just, it's absolutely hideous. You need to get the device on. I ended up, but you can see it's like, so being electrocuted and sexually assaulted with whatever it is very bad. There's like a police taser. And that's a progression of a thought that's goofy. But yeah, so the LA police chopper is like electrocuting you with his cell phone in the hands of schizophrenic retarded men. Yeah, it's also sexually assaulting, which did start in Las Vegas about 18 months ago. It's been 18 months for this. Really, I'm beat half to death. I can't get these men to stop stalking. The stalking alone is absolutely hideous. They do it day and night. Everything I say here is literally, and then it said, because, I heard something. What did you hear? A man said something about sexual stuff, about just, I'm going to repeat it because he said something about licking gynecological lady parts very graphically with like words for it. And then just all this stuff, like X-rated stuff. And it likes to narrate like burning corset. So it into like a burning corset narration to your bamboo in the rain screensaver and your bed on the beach. I think his name is Mr. Underwear in that too. I believe so. I was a little concerned your police guy said like found something, but I'm not sure. Wildfires are not Hitler burning bodies. From Poldark, from Man in the High Castle and Turner Batteries. That one was plausible. That part is somewhat plausible, because you're so bad in here, and it's so good. The ability to like what people call V-chip stalking, to enable like smart devices like your smart TV and enable your to stalk you on your satellite, or to stalk you on your accounts, and to stalk you on your cable account. Uh, whatever all that is that you've really taken to new levels here. Apparently, but you did that. Well, that's just what you verbatim said, and then you said all this stuff about. It started to turn into children. You always talked about children and sexually abusing them. You turned into a complete puddle of goo. You've been absolutely just beating me with the thing. You can see that I'm being stalked in like the videos are recorded. It appears to be summertime, and I'm back in Cary at the apartment in 2000 and I believe it's 2003. No, it would be 2000 or 2002 or 22. I'm sorry, 2022. It would be 2022. So, well, that can't be right. Um, I see that. Now, if you just, my mama what now? Oh, great. It's a schizophrenic retarded janitor. I'm calling the police. It's absolutely hideous though. He doesn't stop stalking. They have all this other weird technology hooked up that they do stuff to your body. They weren't watching you because they need to see. They're apparently watching like lady child's bodies or something as they, they with air with a. This is the story and yours with a like biometric scanner with the metal detector from a body scanner you would use to. Somebody needs to like keep these men out of the police tech like app bar, uh, because they're using it to do this. You can see where I said, or I think I said this on the one that doesn't have any audio. The you can see where the yeah, I'm probably a handsome man if you're. I suppose I don't know what you got going over there. Nobody has ever been as insane as you. It appears to be a complete schizophrenic retarded handyman on drugs, not handyman. Complete schizophrenic retarded like janitor, maintenance man, corrections worker. I mean, I'm not sure. It's quite the criminal. But apparently, people are calling because yes, there were like last night. There's like 5,000. So he did all this. 5,000 people on the phone every time they put the phone down, because other people are posting what the Village of the Damned is like on the whatever you're doing to me. So, but anyway, it woke me up. It did that. It did it. Man in the High Castle talking to itself as I ate dinner. I apparently have no life. or love life and you're old gooch, stuff like that, without without being space princess or something. A satellite goes and checks, and there's really bad stuff in there. What do I do? So you have to like that thing. The guy electrocutes you, and the satellite hangs out there or something. He said like until something happens. I'm not sure. Apparently, it liberates people, and then tries to dump bodies places, and then he narrates there's bodies like floating down the river, and then Hitler walls it off and lights it on fire, which is apparently Huda von Data. It's a Bond because he's a Nazi, maybe. And actually, you've been calling out to like Nazi Germany, really, yeah, very very creative, I guess. It sounds like, and then your computer's like Knight Riders and attacks back. So you got to spell bomber. Grandpa's like for Grandpa's like account or something, like a protection account. Cool. I think he's watching Narrator with children. He always, and with character, he's watching like Phineas and Ferb. Yeah, this logic isn't like a child. Thomas the Tank Engine. Apparently, the parents have been calling the police, and the police they checked a cell phone account because look, and it was coming from like caller ID is what you're trying to say. Yeah, caller ID. These men are piggybacking, but it might be slightly harder to tell because it's the police. They're not really. So for professionals, which I turned in a whole bunch. So it's very, very bad. If you can see, I'm not being physically assaulted, but there's something really creepy, and it really has to end. The stalking has to end. I'm just being like stalked all the time, in that which I document, and I can hear heavy breathing sometimes coming out of like enable the microphone on. And on my cell phone and otherwise, like my laptop and stuff like that. And it's in an audible frequency noise, which isn't hard to do, but somebody's being slick. And it's there's which is creepy overall, but then it's this really strange explicit stuff as described. And then I document again what like more sexual stuff out of Dennis Rader's brain tumor. That's really bad. And then last night it was more sexual stuff, and then Man in the High Castle. Um, and then more handsome man, and vibrating your crotch to like total dark story, like burning corset story. Um, I'm just worried about and then apparently people were calling the other offices that they should have been arrested already. The fact that the judge is supposed to the main county judge is supposed to be aware of any time you would sign out law enforcement technology, which this is, and law enforcement technology. For example, they're signing out law enforcement technology to do security at a sports event or something, or it's used there. So the judge, the media is aware of this, the state Supreme Court, the federal court, and then it comes in. I think I said this already because I'm repeating and that's just literally verbatim what it said. And it's supposed to make you feel bad. And he's like pressurizing, on the body. Somebody told him not to use the sexual assault clause. If I, this is a poor me. I'm going to have to report it, and I'm fine.